What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Got to be unmuted, right? Hi, everybody. Ah, it is the Sacred Sunday edition of the Awakening World. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and welcome. We are celebrating a wonderful festival this weekend. It's the RelaxPansion Fest. And we're going to hear from the creator, founder, conductor, he likes to call himself, Lloyd Barde, who's got just so many beautiful people. And he's brought two of his favorite people with him. Shyla Ray Sunshine is going to bless us with some music and her wisdom and her energy. And Victoria Markham, who I'm really looking forward to getting to know. She's a beautiful soul coming to us from the coast of Kauai. And we've got a pre-record with the amazing Zarina, now known as Snow Raven. And wait until you hear what she does with her mouth harp. It's unlike anything you've ever heard before, I promise you that. So I want to welcome everybody, certainly all of our friends that are in the Zoom room as you guys are coming in. And I see some of our regulars are with us. Still let us know where you are geographically. It's always interesting to see where people are. And I want to welcome everybody watching on our Facebook groups and pages. Especially our friends watching on Unify. Always interesting to see where you're coming from. Over the weekend, we've had people from Bolivia, India, Australia, New Zealand, all over North America. So it's always fun to see where people are coming from. And if you want to come into our Zoom room, it's really easy to do that. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, and register. And it's free. There's a promo code, which is new friend. Promo code new friend. And that way you get the links to all of our shows. We do 3 shows every weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. And we pick a topic and we dedicate ourselves to that topic. And this weekend our topic has been celebrating the return of the RelaxPansion Festival. It's going to take place in Ashland, Oregon in the last weekend of June. I'm going to be there. So I'm looking forward to actually being with people live, like hugs, you know. It's going to be amazing. And so we're really excited about that. So just before we meet Lloyd and Shyla Ray and Victoria, because it is the Sacred Sunday show, and for any of you that are new to us, we are multi-denominational. We don't promote any one particular thing. But what we do promote is for us to really take time to slow down and drop in and really be present to divinity. And divinity in many forms. Tonight, or I should say this morning, divinity is going to be in the form of Lloyd and Shyla Ray and Victoria and all of you, seeing the eternal beloved in all. So let's drop in. Hopefully the dogs, there are 3 dogs running around, so hopefully they will refrain from barking while I'm making an attempt to slow us down and to drop in. And Omar Shah is with us too, by the way, and I know people love Omar Shah. He's become the house musician for our shows, and he's going to play a little music right after this very brief dropping in meditation. So unless you're operating a motor vehicle or on a bicycle right now, which I don't think any of you are, let's close our eyes and let's take a few deep breaths. And just let the sound of my voice gently guide you as we drop in deeper and deeper into ourself. I invite you to drop into the universe of you. And as you're breathing at your own pace, and as you're tuning into yourself, what do you notice? Just start with the physical body temple. Are there any particular places in your body temple where there might be discomfort? Sometimes we get so busy that we don't even notice the pain in our shoulders or our knees or our back, wherever it might be. So if there's any areas of discomfort, I invite you to just send some love to that part of your body and appreciating it. We're so blessed to have these incredible body temples. And how well resourced are you? How was your rest, your sleep last night? Have you had enough food this morning? How well hydrated are you? These are wonderful questions for us to ask ourselves more frequently than most of us do. Again, honoring our beautiful body temple, tuning in. And how are you doing emotionally? What feelings are going on for you? What emotions? You know, there's no bad emotions or negative emotions. There's just ones that are more comfortable and some that are uncomfortable. But they're all part of the rainbow of human experience. And again, we honor all aspects of self. So just noticing these things about yourself. And let's now really kind of commit that during this next time that we have together, we're going to really drop into the presence of these beautiful souls that I'm so honored to introduce to our audience and to get to know myself. So let's open our eyes again. And I'm going to go to gallery view where we can see some of our guests. Oh, wow, Jay Mayer is in the house. Isn't that something? And we have Suzanne and Mark and Diara and Mannion, as well as our presenters. And so welcome to the people who have their cameras on, and welcome to all of you out there in Facebook land. And I'm going to put the spotlight on our beloved Omar Shah, who's got some music for us.
This is just something really short that we can sing together, just to help us go a little deeper. The lyrics are in the chat box. Namaste, namaste, my heart singing, namaste. The love in me beholds the love in you, namaste, 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 my heart singing, namaste. Love in me beholds a love in you. Namaste, namaste. Sing with me, please. Namaste. Namaste, my heart singing, namaste. Love in me beholds love in you, namaste. Namaste, one more time. Namaste, namaste, my heart singing, namaste. Love in me beholds love in you. Namaste, namaste, namaste.
Oh, that's such a perfect way to start. Thank you, Amrishar. And I do see the divinity within you. And of course, that's what Namaste means. We acknowledge the divinity within each of us. And I acknowledge the divinity in this incredible man that I just put the spotlight on. This is Lloyd. He is the conductor of the RelaxPansion Festival, and a really great guy coming to us from Ashland, Oregon. And welcome, Lloyd. Here we are. It's our finale of our weekend together. How's the weekend been for you so far?
Spectacular. Real deep experience of community, connection. My favorite practice, which is receiving. There's been a whole lot of that going down. And so I'm feeling inspired, and the vision is becoming more and more real. It's taking shape and form. I'm getting a lot of ideas. This morning I wrote down all the areas that we need volunteers for. So it's both the vision and the ground underneath it that is coming to me. I wanted to mention one thing that I've been able to do my entire life. My last name is spelled B-A-R-D-E, and so it looks like it might be Bard. Now that I live in Ashland, the land of Shakespeare, it definitely looks like Bard, but it's actually appropriately rhymes with party, because my last name is Barde. So I like to say that now and then so I can land fully in myself. And that's who I am.
Well, thank you for that clarification, Lloyd Barde. And again, I want to take people briefly just so people know what we're going to be talking about today. We're talking about this wonderful festival that you can now see on the screen. It's the RelaxPansion Fest. You can learn all about it, and most importantly, buy your ticket by going to relaxpansion.com. Relaxpansion.com. And you're going to meet today 3 of the presenters that are going to be there. And Lloyd, do you want to introduce who you've invited to be with us this morning?
Absolutely. Well, I first met Snow Raven as half of the Olax duo, and her name Zarina, and we've become very close and great friends. She has stayed at our home here in Ashland, and she's been at each of the RelaxPansion festivals, as well as doing a number of concerts that just completely lit up this community. And she's a force. She showed up as Olax with a partner in the group who's not going to be with her this year because he's doing family stuff. But for who she is, she's got the whole thing covered. So that's
And
really
just
exciting.
And just so you know, she's we did a pre-record with her earlier this week. So this is a photograph taken when I did the pre-record, and you're gonna get a chance to hear her a little bit later on in the show. And she is amazing, and wait till you hear what she has to say and how she sings. So, but we
Yeah.
do have 2 wonderful people with us live, and
Yes.
you want to introduce?
Sure. Several of the main stage artists are also offering as presenters kind of mini workshops, and Shyla Ray is one of those. And hi there. And Shyla Ray, besides coming into my world as the writers of one of the most seminal songs for this entire global tribe. She has such devotion to family and creating and showing up absolutely as her sovereign self. And so we've gotten close. The first time she came here, I picked her up late at the Medford airport. We came back to my home, which we call the RelaxPansion. And she said, let's go outside for a second. We walked off the back deck, and there was a bear walking down the street. That is serious totem material. And so that's how we have begun our wonderful connection. And to have her come to be on the opening night program, I'm very pleased with that.
Charlotte, is a bear is that a traditional totem animal for you?
Possibly. I'm from Canada and I have native roots up there. I was not expecting that, but yeah, very much. It's in the totem, you know, the Haida people from, you know, the Pacific Northwest, and my lineage is Algonquin, so I'm sure of it. I actually never looked into it to just see at that time how significant it was for me, but that was a really special moment. I'm glad that was.
Cool. And then also, we've invited Victoria Markham to join us on the show. She is part of what we call the New Thought Speakers Forum. And I believe we first noticed and met each other at an Olax concert in Ashland. And simultaneously and at the very same time, both of our heads went whoosh, and there was a connection. And there has been ever since. And I'm fortunate to be able to call Victoria not just one of my favorite people, but one of my very closest friends. And that is a gift. And what she brings to the world is utter authenticity and a deep connection to the earth and an understanding of her own inner place and how she expresses in the world. So I'm really excited. And having had a peek at her new website, you can go there and just don't leave and just take it all in, and your understanding of your life will expand dimensionally.
Beautiful. Well, I'm going to bring Charlotte back on too. So all three of you are on camera right now. And let's just start by, what does the RelaxPansion Festival mean to each of you, Charlotte and Victoria? What's it mean to each of you? What comes up to you when you think about being there again?
That community is so special. And I think now that I've learned a little bit about, you know, how Lloyd has really brought people together in this way, and those springs, like everything from the location, and this is a place that I've played before, and it felt like such a homecoming. That's the experience I had of, like, it just felt like my old school NorCal days, you know, because I'm a Southern California gal. And so up there, just, it has a special place in my heart, you know. This festival was there was something so sweet about it. There was just like a sweetness. And then meeting Lloyd through one of my dear sisters in my life, it really just felt like such a blessing. Like, that's how it felt. It felt like, wow, I'm being tied into a really special community and a really special gathering. And there was just flow. There really was a relaxed vibe about the whole thing. It is called that for a reason. So I really experienced the flow. That was very nice. No stress. We got you. Lloyd was very accommodating. And it just felt so, it wasn't business, it was pleasure.
Beautiful. And Victoria, how about for yourself?
Well, I was just listening to the rain falling outside, just pouring, you know, when the skies of Kauai open up, they really let us have the water, you know, and I was thinking of the water there on the grounds at the well springs. and remembering that we're on native grounds there. You know, how many generations and peoples have gathered around those particular waters through time, throughout history of the earth. You know, try to kind of picture that and imagine that through time. And here we are, the modern day tribe, right? We're going to get out our modern day instruments, and everyone has their modern day decorations and jewels. And here we are in this particular generation, in this particular time and imprint of life, expressing our prayer, our way of praying, our way of being, our way of coming together and loving and embracing. And so I really, when I think of the festival, I think of that after coming out of a really deep time for most people, not even having gone to any kind of community event or gathering, or like I was just listening before we jumped on here all together live was, you know, someone was saying, gosh, I haven't even been out of my Zoom room with people, you know? So this is like a celebration of coming together and regathering that tribe of our modern day times and being able to really listen, feel, and experience all the art and talent and expression that people have been kind of, you know, holding in for these last few years. So I picture this burst, you know, kind of like a burst of isolation coming forward into collection of energy. So that's just what I have in my mind, kind of the historic calling out of how many times and ways these waters have been gathered around, and then we in this time of life, how we're coming out of that isolation and into celebration once again with each other.
Mm. I love that. That's really beautiful. And I think I'm going to bring Charlotte Ray and Lloyd back on as well, because you really said it. You know, we have been in this, each of us have been in our own little unique cocoon during the pandemic. And most of us have not been at festivals. And this is going to be, for many people, their first festival, their first coming together again. So, question for each of you, as a chance for our audience to get to know you, what's transformation that's happened for each of you, including you, Lloyd, during these 2 years? How have you evolved? How have you changed? How is Shyla Ray or Victoria 3.0, 4.0 going to be showing up when we see you in Ashland in a few weeks? And same question for you as well, Lloyd. How have you changed? How have you evolved? So maybe we'll start with Lloyd, then Shyla Ray, and then Victoria.
Okay. In response to turn up your volume, hopefully I'm more easily heard now. So you can put in the chat box if I'm still too quiet, which is rare. Well, I managed, while the giant pause button was being held down over these 2.5 years, to continue to host a weekly DJ dance, to put on a couple shows. One was with Shyla Ray and Donna Delory, who we had Friday night, and a couple other artists. And the way that I've been holding this is respect and choice. I respect your choices. I invite you to do the same for me, and to stop creating war and opposition just in people's beliefs and how they wish to show up or not show up. And so that's what I've done. And the transformation for me included becoming much more close with my wife, Deborah Wilder, allowing things to show up and unfold, and sometimes clear and dissolve, and sometimes allowed to be in different places. And so it's just helped me learn about RelaxPansion, which I'll share about a little later. And over this past year, I was able to be at my son's wedding, was able to miraculously be able to purchase the beautiful home that we live in. I'm still letting that in. And I went to bed for a number of days with no symptoms. It was not a COVID related thing, but during that time I had what's called a life review. I didn't know what it was until I sat in bed for 5 days and listened as if a scroll was being read to me in my own voice silently. And I went through my whole life, and I came out of it ageless, I don't know if I'm 5 or 65, and it just doesn't make any difference in how I am and who I am. It's a little hard to talk about it, but when I came out of that and got out of bed so I could go back to being a DJ, I heard the big voice that said, "Oh, it looks like you're going to have a festival this summer." And of course, I turned around and said, "Who said that?" And with a short timeline, this began around February 2nd. I think it was 2/2/22. Here we are, less than a month away. And it's coming together beautifully by standing my ground and surrendering every inch. Try that one on.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for sharing vulnerably a little bit about, um, your transformation. I think most of us have gone through transformations, and I want to invite people in the Zoom room and in on our Facebook pages. If you want to share about your transformations and your process during this time that's hopefully coming to a close, would love to read it, love to hear it. We're all building community here. Shyla Ray, I'd love to hear what's taken place for you.
I have not slowed down. Nothing stopped for me. And actually, when this whole thing happened, when this pandemic thing happened, for some reason, there was a strong call for certain people to ask to host me a couple places. So I remember getting my first opportunity of, oh, it was something in Florida. It was like, we're pretty like open, our community's like, we're not too worried about it. We can have a private event. And something happened there where it just kicked off this whole energetic, I don't know, there was like a lift off that happened for me. I was in great health and my children as well throughout the whole pandemic. I never stopped seeing people. I never stopped hugging. I never stopped playing music. I had opportunity after opportunity to do private house concerts, flew to Hawaii 3 times. Like there's been no slowing down. So I thought about that, thought, wow, okay, my spirit's just ready to soar. That's one thing. I just love music so much, and I just love to keep, the momentum going. There was a nice momentum, and I didn't want to feel like this experience was going to slow, my career, my, the momentum I've created. I've worked really hard to create this in my life, to go and share my gift and to teach singing and to be a mother at the same time. Like there's something beautiful that's happening in my life right now that actually could not happen years ago because my kids are older. I have a little bit more independence and freedom and time. And, so when the pandemic happened, things just got better. My life just got better. So I'm very grateful for that. I know it is not the same for others. And I understand it's been challenging for some people, but I just did not want to let this stop what I had going in my life. So I started DJing more. I started DJing live. I was DJing live on Facebook every week to get people engaged, because I was like, we need music, even if we can't get together in person. Like, let's keep this going. And people loved it. I had a great time. And then I had all these shows. And then I also, one beautiful gift that's happened in these years is that I sat in a gorgeous plant medicine ceremony with some women that I fell in love with. And I started to learn these medicine songs. And so learning these songs in Spanish, which I will share one today, I've learned a lot of songs in Spanish and Portuguese, was for me the next level for me. It was kind of like the next assignment for me of what I needed to learn from my personal musical evolution, because this was not a strength of mine before, and now it is. And so it was just a beautiful experience, committing myself to learning these songs, sitting with these women, facilitating these ceremonies. And now, we do ceremonies every month, and we go and we facilitate retreats and circles for people who need this healing, who want this healing. So that's been such a blessing in my own life. not only just
Mhm.
meeting so many wonderful people and having the ability to help them in their healing journey through my voice, um, it's brought so many blessings into my life. And I just watch
Mm.
them over and over, just happening like, wow. So I'm in a very, very good, grateful place right now. Things are very good. Things are very well. And I'm really grateful and happy.
Your gratitude vibe is just like lifting us all up. It's like, wow, big gratitude vibe. And
It's hard in words, to just,
yeah,
it's just this like, wow, like Lloyd was saying, you review your life and you go, look at all I've attracted. Look at all these beautiful people in my life. Look at where I am, and if you don't feel that way, it's time to feel that way.
beautiful. Well, we're looking forward to hearing your music and getting more Shyla Ray Sunshine vibe. But
Yeah.
let's hear from Victoria first, a little bit about, how did I spend my pandemic vacation? Um,
Oh, yes. Well, thank you, Shyla Ray, for all that gratitude and just that up feeling. And it's interesting while simultaneously holding a lot of energy in that field as well, of like, wow, what an incredible time to see this structure fall and everyone just be willing to come together and share. And I think, our thinkers, Lloyd's way of thinking, that respect of choice, the ones that were choosing to gather or choosing to stay in connection with one another. Some amazing things happened as the daily structure fell away and all that daily busyness sort of came to a halt. And I was around a lot of people. For some, that was a really beautiful opportunity to do exactly what you did, Shelly Ray, and exactly what you did, Lloyd, is get closer to your intimate people, to learn new songs and learn new ways of being together, to actually get the airways that were open and jet set and find the world in a new place. I work in grief and death and dying. So I will say that a large part of my pandemic time has gone to really holding space for the people that weren't in those joyful, happy times, that really needed a lot of support and a lot of understanding about how illness and or pandemic type of viral energy was landing in their lives and affecting their people, and the fear in people. And so it was kind of the shadow rising, like the world shut down and the shadow from the individuals started to rise. And that's my work. I work in that. I dance in that with people. On a personal note, my life has never ceases to be a living syllabus. And so right at the beginning of the pandemic, I went through a divorce after 20 years of marriage and became a single mom of 2 children and owner of 5 acres of beautiful land that was used to a tremendous amount of help on it. And it became me at the helm. And I embraced this home and this land and all that it had to offer with my whole heart. And since everyone was sort of out of a job, especially the construction peoples at that time, I hired people and I absorbed them onto the land, and we built infrastructure and community spaces. And I got one of Jaybird's sky lodges that had the fire pit in the middle, so we could have outdoor gatherings there and everyone could still honor what choice they were in. And we did some community dances with Lloyd's Saturday dance that he does. We had some farm to table meals, just tried to keep that slow Ashland spirit, but really good high energy, choice point there on the land. And so I spent time making a little retreat center that really wasn't used for its purpose until probably now. So that's pretty much it. I spent a lot of time with Lloyd and Deborah eating dinners at their table and enjoying the community they have around them. And those of us who were a yes just kept saying yes to each other. And that was invaluable support for me, where the other periods of my day were spent with people that were mourning and people that lost loved ones and people that were very sick in the hospital and so on.
Hmm. Um, it's so interesting the contrast of how people's experiences were, and I do want to acknowledge that a lot of people who watch our show have had a rough time. A lot of people who watch the show have been
Yeah.
felt more isolated, more disconnected, and so I just really I'm going to bring Charlotte Ray and Lloyd back on and myself back on. I just want to acknowledge that, there's no right or wrong experience, but look at just the diversity of experience that we've seen here, Shyla Ray, like this incredible time of expansion. And it sounds like for you, Victoria, it was both, the change of getting separated and divorced, but then also expanding your home field and creation. And I just for a moment want to ask, um, for those who it has been a tough time. For example, one of our regulars, Terry Russo, is a nurse. And as she wrote in the chat box, it was no vacation for me. I had to keep working to keep people healthy. So, that there's another experience. But you mentioned about grief and mourning, Victoria, and I just want to take advantage of your wisdom. So I'm going to put the spotlight back on you fully. What What's a practice that you might suggest or recommend for people that have lost loved ones or that have had a really hard time of this?
Well, I so many of those people that passed or that had very sick loved ones, really did that alone. People weren't allowed to go into hospitals to visit their people dying. Um, there was a tremendous amount of isolation in the grief process, even, more so than normal in our culture, which is an obvious isolation grief process that exists there anyway. And this was just quadrupled 10 times even more, where families were afraid to be together to mourn their loved ones. And so there was a lot of creativity that had to happen around um, how do we ritualize? How do we memorialize? How do we hold space for? And a lot of that was done how we're doing this forum now, through video connection, and it expanded people into that way of being able to be together, which I feel opens the world in a really new and beautiful way, because not everybody can travel and not everybody can go and be on site with their loved ones. My personal offering always revolves around ritual practice. I I have studied trauma work, somatics. I mean, all the major hitters under the sun of what really addresses and helps with grief. But I have found nothing works better than our old understanding of ritual and how to really be tactile with our hands and our minds, joining with the objects in our hands, joining with our heart, joining with the environment that we're in. And so there's a constant invitation to get objects of meaning and bundle them and hold them and put them on altars, or wash them, or wash your own body, with intention, or just hands in water. And every day when you're a nurse working with ill people, you come home and you put your hands in a bowl of water with intention, and just wash away all those places that hurt or that need rejuvenation in yourself so that you can go the next day again. Or a personal practice, and my favorite is a glass of water in the windowsill at night, for the moon and the stars and the energy of night to collect. And then in the morning, upon waking, before anything else happens, just drinking of that water and asking for the cleansing that's needed, for the grief to lessen, for the aches and pains in the body, or if you're sick, just to become more well, So it's just a simple interaction with nature and environment, but with intention, so that's what I can offer.
Victoria, I love those suggestions. Those are just beautiful suggestions. I'm going to start doing that. Putting the water out and asking for the moonlight and the early morning sun. That is such a beautiful suggestion. And thank you again for just the reminder, even about washing with intention. So, well, we're going to hear much more from Victoria, but I think it's time for some music. We've talked about the hard stuff. Now we're going to go back to I mean, her name says it all, Shyla Ray Sunshine, right? Although I know you're going more by Shyla Ray now, but would you be willing to give us some sunshine of your musical offering here?
Of course. I just thought the sunshine sounded too hippie sometimes. I was playing some big venues and bars, and it was like, it was like, all right, I'm just gonna drop that. But it will always remain forever.
Good to know.
I would like to ask can you hear me well right now?
You're a little soft. You're a little
Okay, let me
soft.
try this. Is this any better, worse, same?
It's just a tad better.
Okay. Because I
But
had
you're
a mic.
okay now. It's okay now. You also seem to be talking louder also. So.
I am. And I sing very loud, so that shouldn't be a problem.
All right, great.
I want to sing a song that is really like an opening prayer. So I sing this song in ceremony for our first round, just to open the space where we call on healing for those who are sitting with us, and just to, bring in the ancestors and really just acknowledge that we're in a time, where we all need that. We all really need that healing. So this song is called Gran Espiritu, and I'm going to sing it in Spanish first, and then there's an English translation after, so you'll be able to understand what I'm saying. And I'm going to play with this rattle that's from Peru. So beautiful. This is the ayahuasca vine.
Oh, wow.
It's very, very, very special. Yeah. Gran Espíritu, ayuda a nuestra gente, ayúdanos en esta ceremonia. Gran Espíritu, ayuda a nuestra gente, ayúdanos en esta ceremonia. Danos tu calor, danos tu amor, danos instrucción, oh, danos purificación. Great Spirit, come help our people. Heal us in this ceremony. Great Spirit, come help our people. Heal us in this ceremony. Bless us with your own. Bless us with your love. Guide us on our way and purify our hearts. Gran Espíritu, ayuda a nuestra gente, ayúdanos en esta ceremonia. Gran Espíritu, ayuda a nuestra tribu, cúranos en esta ceremonia. Danos tu calor, danos tu amor, danos instrucción, oh, danos purificación. Great Spirit, come help our people. Heal us in this ceremony. Great Spirit, come help our people. Heal us in this ceremony. Bless us with your
I loved that. And Lloyd, I've got you on camera too with her. That was fantastic. Oh,
So that's the opening song that we use to help people drop in.
mm,
Feels good every time. My voice is a little tired today, but
sounded good to me. And
all right,
I'm
good. I can just feel it. I've been singing and teaching a lot this week, so it's a fun Sunday morning church
yeah.
devotion. Thank you so
And
much.
Lord, isn't it wonderful that the next time we're going to hear that song, we're going to be all together in person hearing it? Isn't that
Oh
exciting?
my goodness, gracious goddess. One of my prideful joys in conducting this gathering is to take these amazing artists, each of whom I am so fortunate to call friends, because my motto, my practice is only work with friends.
Mm.
Wow, am I fortunate and grateful. So when I put the order of who leads up to the headliner, of which there are at least 5 or 6, my friend James Marienthal, who lives in Boulder, Colorado, he's going to open the show with beautiful native flute invocation. And then next comes Shyla Ray. And so I'm just envisioning, because I live in a world of inspiration, that that's how you might start your set. It's
Got it.
just so natural.
Can we have a fire? That would be no.
We actually can. There's a new fire pit in the back meadow.
Great.
So as long as everyone promises not to fall into it.
Or yeah. Okay. Well, that's just the sacred element,
Yeah.
Rings there.
You could certainly have a fire bowl on stage.
I'll have a bunch of copal burning while I'm on the stage. We'll just smoke it out. Cleanse everybody and all the shit they've been through. Pardon my language.
This is the aspect of mutual pure creativity that drives this vision. I trust that I can make stuff up. I use stuff as a nice word, but I can make stuff up, figure it out along the way. And that's my gift, as well as being very sequential and spatial, because if I can't stay in sequence, then I can only do 7 or 8 things at a time. And that's what's being called for, in a way, for each of us.
You're doing great.
Thank
Takes
you.
a lot to organize. I'm just the artist. I can't imagine being the producer and directing everything.
Yeah, I'm the conductor. It's easier.
Right.
Tap, and this.
Children, pay attention. Well, thanks so much for rallying me once again this year to come. Share these songs. I do have new songs. I have a new album on the way, so I have new songs.
And there's that one really elemental, eternal song that you are so well known for. And I always still want to hear that. So I'm going to put in an early request.
Yeah.
I'm appreciating Max, who keeps kind of going back and forth wearing just his underwear. So, but he closed the door, I just want to acknowledge that was Max Ribner. And you can go back and watch the replay of last night's show, because he did a pretty amazing couple of performances. I'm going to read a couple of comments that have come in. And then Victoria has disappeared. So when she comes back, we'll hear from her a little bit more. We'll hear more from Shyla Ray. But I always like to acknowledge what some of the people are writing. So whether you're on Unify or Facebook or in our Zoom, share with us what's going on for you. And Pat writes, may the Memorial Day old energies be transformed into new frequencies of divine love, forgiveness, and compassion. Thank you, Pat. That's beautiful. Suzanne M. wrote, so beautiful, Shyla Ray. Thank you. Eleanor Joy, one of our regulars, writes, on that beautiful note, I must take my leave. But this was so rich and inspiring and joyful all weekend long. Thank you. Much gratitude. And then she'll catch the replay. And remember, you can watch the replays of all these shows that we do. We've been doing this for 2.5 years by going to our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and put in Global Peace Tribe. and you can find all of this. Somebody else, anonymous, wrote, "There's so much grief around isolation and the loss of seeing family, grandchildren, friends, loss of eye contact because of the fear for people who wear masks, loss of facial expressions, and especially smiles." So I just really want to acknowledge that part too, the sad part, the grieving part. So, and a couple more. Mary Noonan writes, in response to what I just read, yes, I agree, so much grief and isolation. And Christine is saying, thank you so much, Shyla Ray, Sunshine. So she's putting your Sunshine name in there. So I don't know. There's a certain segment of us that like the Sunshine part. Just saying. Just saying. Mary is asking how Omashar's mother is doing. Omashar, there's a question for you, so I'm going to add you to the spotlight. How is your mother doing? You're very soft. You need to be louder.
You know, she's still alive. It's bizarre. She's really on the edge of her life. She's gone completely blind and can hardly walk. But there's something that's still in there. And I spent a couple of weeks with her in England a couple of weeks ago. And I think my presence with her has probably given another year of life. I gave her like 1,000 hugs a day. And it's just interesting watching the cycle of life and being grateful for that who birthed me into this world. And so she's still around. I'll see her perhaps at the end of the summer, hopefully, God willing, Goddess willing. Yeah.
Well, thank you for letting us know, and thank you to Mary for asking. We are community, and we all are coming together in community. I am going to play a little bit of a pre-recorded video that I did with Zarina. You may remember her. I've had an entire Sacred Sunday show that I did with just her that was fascinating. Zarina is from Siberia. Her village is one of the coldest places in the world. It gets to like minus 60 degrees. She's a remarkable human being. And I did a 30-minute interview with her, but this is just going to be, I'm just going to pretty much go straight to this example of the kind of music you're going to hear her play at RelaxPansion. So let's take a look.
Man was telling me, it said, you have this already. It's just you need to have access, open up your channel, and everyone is able to do that. So yeah. So and then
Beautiful. I know you need to go soon. Can you give us just a little bit of maybe of your beautiful verbal vocal, so we can get a little taste of what they're going to experience when they come to see you at RelaxPansion?
so today I would love to play with for you the mouth harp. It's a shamanic instrument. We call that homus, and it's a lot of part of my body works: palate, mouth, the inner muscles, throat, breathing, lips, tongue, and so it's a very portable, beautiful instrument. So the composition is
Thank
going
you.
to be the birth of the universe. Giving me. Come on, Leave it.
Yeah, like big wow. I'm going to add Charlotte Ray and Lloyd and Victoria to get your responses, and Omashar as well. Wow, isn't that just the most unique experience? Charlotte Ray, I saw you really kind of tripping on it. Have you seen Snow Raven, Serena,
Yes,
before?
I
Yeah.
I know this woman. I was blown away when I first saw her. She played a friend's birthday party, and I was like, "Who are these people?" And the fact that I had not heard of that, like I'm pretty networky, so I was like, "Okay, when there's musicians on that level that I had never heard of who come in and just like do something like completely transform the space." With that vibration where you were like, what is happening right now? Right. So that's what happened for me. I was like, what am I seeing right now? And she had her partner. Yes, and I've known her for a few years, and I'm so excited that she's part of this. And I was texting my girlfriends that I facilitate ceremony with, being like, yo, we need to get these mouth harps. I was like, look at her, because they use like a smaller, simpler version of a mouth
Mhm.
harp when we're in ceremony, and I'll drum or I'll do some vocal stuff or I'll play something else. But theirs is so small. That's a completely different sound.
Yeah,
That one
yeah.
really travels and like reverberates. So I was just like, wow, it's amazing too how clear it comes through the computer.
Yes,
I very
yeah,
much
yeah.
feel
I
it.
was pleased about that because sometimes Zoom struggles with certain instrumentation.
Yeah, no, that was great. Thank you for that.
And yes, somebody asked, Snow Raven is going to be at RelaxPansion. So those of us who are there will be able to see her live. And she does a wide variety of musical pieces. I will post the full 30-minute interview on the YouTube channel so you guys can see, because she's creating a whole temple dedicated to shamanic science. And she talks a lot about that. It's really quite interesting. Lloyd, any thoughts before we move on to hearing what Victoria has to say?
Well, through a chance encounter at a Krishna Das concert, where I met this gentleman sitting outside reading, and I was there, I think, handing out flyers for Deva and Miten so that I could do my usual conducting work. And I took him inside because I had an extra ticket and thought nothing of it. I said, I'm probably going to leave early, believe it or not. Krishna Das is not my vibe. And so I did. And a couple months later, I went to the Fairfax Ecstatic Dance because my friend Ra Avis, who founded Yogi Tunes, his name is Alex King Harris, he was the DJ. He's tied for my favorite DJ. And so I went to see him, and this man from the Krishna Das concert comes running over to me and says, I have someone you need to meet. And it was Snow Raven. And besides everything else she does, she is a wild dancer. And we really hit it off. And we stayed in touch, and I brought her to Ashland, and we did house concerts, and she does an amazing workshop. And she's one of the RelaxPansion artists who will be leading a workshop in what we call the Casbah. So you can learn how to make sounds like reindeer and ravens. And a number of the main stage artists are doing this, so that she's coming fully to show, present, and we could even say expose herself. That's a thrill for me, and will be for everyone else. So yeah, she's coming back to Ashland, where she is just beloved.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Victoria is back, so I'm putting the spotlight on Victoria for a moment. Hey, welcome back.
Thanks. I had to cook breakfast for my daughter.
Oh, well, listen, that's very important. How old is your daughter?
She's 8.
Oh, well, yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. So now, what will you be presenting at RelaxPansion? Is there a particular topic or theme that you're going to be exploring?
Well, it's interesting just sitting with Snow Raven and her, the medicine she carries. We could call it music, but it's felt as medicine. And every time I've gone to see her and her partner, there's this experience of world bridging. It's like it's liminal. It's like I'm half here and half in the other world, and it's that kind of place where we know we're human animal and we know we're human skin, and she's just instantly able to take me right there, right where it's like I'm not of this world, but I'm not gone either, and I think that is a perfect segue to introduce what I like to carry to the people as well. It's just that understanding of how to rewild ourselves a little, and maybe a lot. Grief and pain and anguish and these kind of emotions that tend to get stuck in our beings are not meant to be stuck. It's an emotional digestion process, right? We're all going to have them. There's no way around these kinds of feelings in our life whatsoever. If we are in human skin, we are going to have emotions. But the true measure of health is how swiftly do they digest through us? Do we get stuck? Do we get condensed? Do they go inside of our physical body? Do they get stuck in our head? Do we run from people? Do we change our whole lives? Are we unable to function? So there's this constant dedication in my life to being a world bridger around that place where people feel an emotion and then they want to clamp down on it, and just saying, hey, how do we keep that flow going? And so it's so beautiful, the music artistry, and like Shyla Ray's medicine song and Olaks, and the way that they, they kind of take you into that next dimension while leaving you in your body at the same time. And that is what I try and do as an artist on the ground without a musical talent. you know I was not gifted with that particular expression in this lifetime, but what I am feeling as a gift to my people and at RelaxPansion, and mostly in dedication to Lloyd and Deborah and the life that they live, and what their messages that they try and bring, is just to participate in some way to help people understand how to rewild those emotions a little bit. And like I had shared earlier, there's practices that I use to do that. I don't know which one will rise for this particular event. Leaving it organic is all part of the joy of doing it in the first place. It's like, what do the people need at this time, at this signature, at this imprint of this festival? And what, getting a flavor now today for Shyla Ray and Snowbird and you, and just reconnecting back into Ashland with Lloyd as I go back next week, and he does a midnight airport run for me as well. Just getting around the energy and the musicians and starting to feel what's the signature here, and how can I create a ritual and or a practice that allows people to open deeper, so that when they are sitting in front of Shyla Ray or these other musicians, they're feeling a sense of connection themselves in their own, what they're bringing, what they need to be working through and or enjoying in themselves in their life. So to be seen, but that's just a little signature.
I am so looking forward to seeing what you decide to come up with, because I'm sure it's going to be beautiful, and
You'll see.
I'll be there to check it out. And she has a beautiful website, and so if you're interested in learning more about the beautiful things that Victoria has to offer, she does something called ritual therapeutics, a long-awaited spiritual approach to grief. And I just again want to acknowledge that for so many people watching, dealing with grief, dealing with the challenges, is important. And sometimes we need support. We need a coach. And so you can learn all about her journey, the challenges that she's had, how she's worked through those, and she's got something coming up. So tell us a little bit about the Broken Bowl training and the Broken Bowl ritual.
Well, after my son died in 2012, I began a journey really profound and deep. I'd already been on a very deep journey in life with various things that had brought me to my knees. But when my son died at 3.5 years old, that was, that was get right or I'm not going to stay, And what I did was travel to different cultures, get out of the American culture and start to travel around to find intelligent, emotional energy, emotional intelligence around survivorship and or grief, or how to express it and feel it. I went to many cultures. One of the things that came across my path was the sacred art of kintsugi, and it's where they take a bowl and or a sacred object, and it was originally created for the queen who lost something very important to her, an object that she loved, and she asked them to use golden joinery to bring it back together. So I've taken this and transformed it into more of a ritual practice for people that have felt their lives break apart in ways that they cannot express verbally. And it is, it's profound. I made a documentary film with Katie Teague, and we use this as a signature ritual in this documentary. And the transformation that I witness in people when they use this, it actually is responsible a lot for Lloyd and Deborah and I coming together in the first place, because Deborah watched my film and started using this ritual from the film in her own practice, counseling practice. And so there's these, places where it's already joined people together. But what I find is that when people have an object, they break it, they glue it back together, they have an intention, It's a psychological process that requires not a lot of verbal, and there's a profundity, an immense amount of energy that comes through that of recovery and a touchstone, So I have many rituals that I teach. None of them are from any particular culture, but they all have a signature of energetics. How do we break and come back together? Using water to cleanse, knowing how to light a fire and what to burn. These are all non-denominational, they're culturally appropriate, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm not taking from any culture, just using the essence. And so these trainings that I'm doing, I mainly work with therapists now. I mainly work with people, students of psychology, and people that are wanting to work in depth with grief. But I'm doing 4 signature ritual trainings on this broken bowl. I just want to spread it. I want everyone to have it in their toolkit. I want everyone to know how to use it in their own family way, in their own life, with their sister circles, when they're getting ready to do medicine journeys. How do you open? How do you close? How do you get people's emotions evoked to where then you can work with them deeply? And this training that I'm giving is that giveaway. It's a beautiful segue to anything you're doing, both personally and group wise.
Victoria, that's beautiful. I love that work that you're doing. It reminds me of Rumi. And one of the things that always fascinates me is that the best-selling poet in America for many, many years is a 12th century gay Islamic mystic, right? I mean, what's that about? And I think of
Cool.
what you're talking about because his whole teaching is the pathway of the broken heart, and that was a big part of what his poetry is about and his teaching. So your broken bowl ceremony is just beautiful. Lloyd, I'm bringing you back on camera to kind of complete with Victoria, and then we'll go to Shyla Ray for her last song. But anything you want to share? And by the way, this is Jasmine Bear, so she's part of my family. Lloyd, anything you want to share with Victoria?
I love living in the continual onslaught of inspiration. So now I have a new word. Maybe it'll be the next festival. It's going to be called Relax Ceremony. And that will be what it's about. And out of that came an inspiration, another idea to bring to the festival, where we are filled with presenters and speakers and artists and visionary artists and vendors offering their wares and their creations. So I was a big fan and part of what was called Challenge Day. It was a worldwide offering that went into schools and spent a day with people, freeing them from separation. It was miraculous. 2 people in the Bay Area, Richie and Yvonne Dutra St. John, turned this into a worldwide organization. My dear friend Michael Allen, who was part of yesterday's offering, was a Challenge Day leader for some time. And I went at least once a month for several years, because anyone can go and volunteer. Look it up, Challenge Day. So part of their ritual, their practice, is to put people in circles of 6. And you go around the circle and you say, if you really knew me, you'd know blank. And we go around 3 or 4 times in the circle. And this was with high school kids generally, and a volunteer like me or a leader like Michael. And I found that to be profound. We've done that in our home when we've had family dinners. So I got this idea. We've got all these presenters and all these people coming, but where is the opportunity to really get close and revealed and intimate? So one of the presentations in the Casbah is going to be called Sharing Circles. And I may be the leader, if there even is one, and we will create groups of 6 of people who are at the festival. And we'll go around the circle and say, if you really knew me. So it's a chance for the so-called attendees or participants to come closer, to express themselves, to take their active receptivity of all the magic and artistry, and to move from being concealed to being revealed. which is something in my life, is remarkable. So Scott, as an inspiration, you just gave me a tremendous gift. This is going to now appear at the festival.
Beautiful.
And I don't
Well,
know, we may do them on the lawn, we may do them in between musicians on the main stage. I don't know what we're going to do, because that's the joy of being the conductor. All I do is tap twice and go like this.
beautiful. Well, I want to thank Victoria again, and there's some wonderful comments. Amune writes, so much in respect to you, Victoria. Deep bows to your work. And another person, I don't know how to pronounce it, D-Ra, writes, Victoria, they use the kintsugi teaching here in San Diego schools as part of the restorative justice practices. So that's a beautiful thing so thank you for pointing that out and sharing that with us. And really a pleasure to meet you, Victoria. Really looking forward to seeing you and meeting you in person and seeing what you decide to contribute at RelaxPansion. And I'm going to put the full spotlight on Shyla Ray. For your closing thoughts, we'll take a look at your website and wondering if you'd bless us with one more song.
Okay, fine.
Okay, fine.
All right. So wait, I want to clarify. Lloyd, were you talking about Into the Wild, or do you have another favorite song? I don't actually know which song you were referring to.
Well, you know, there's a song that everyone always makes you sing.
Yeah, I'd say that one. That's a pretty.
Yeah, but there's one that came before that was the first place that I heard you.
That's right. I had a hit song that was the favorite, and then I wrote another one that became the new favorite.
Yes.
So the first one is Existence, and in that one there is the chorus that says, "I am so powerful. I am the one I've been waiting for." So there's the anthem, there's the chant, there's the affirmation, right? So that song is called Existence, if you want to go look for it. I was thinking I would sing Into the Wild today because I'm just kind of a cappella style today, and I have my rattle with me.
Let's do that, and we'll post in the, oops, I'm muted.
Yeah, you can put
Let's do that, and we'll put it in the comments.
People, yeah, that's a great song for people to learn and to sing with, because it's really supportive. The chorus on that one is really repetitive, and it's just got this, like, you know, big feel. I think I did it the last time I was live with Scott. We did I think I did Into the Wild, and then I did a track. You know, I have to play it on my like little Bluetooth speaker because
Yeah, that's how I remember it. That's right.
I don't play guitar and I play keys, and it's just not ideal to have that set up. It doesn't capture the sound of the piano. So I'm just going to share this song as the closing. So it's kind of similar because I have the mama and the baby rattle, and I'm going to use the mama for this one just because, you know, we're taking it home. And this song, Into the Wild, has kind of become a different kind of anthem. I think it really honors the free and wild spirit in us all, you know. And I wrote this song, I think I was just a little homesick. I was missing Canada and was just looking at the mountains, and the song came through on my hike. So you know, that's where it happened. And yeah, and this is a great space opener as well. Oh yeah, and can I request that everybody be muted while I'm singing? It just distracts me. Thank you so much. And if you know this song, please sing along. Can you hear me well? Is that good?
Yes.
Okay. Into the wild I'll go, and into the wild I head. It's been a while, freedom child, since I left my roots back home. I once tried to run away like a wild animal's prey, running, hiding, I was riding high in the sunset sky. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 oh, hey. And all my life, all this time, I've been a warrior and I know why. I've been given the torch and the light. I walk in the darkness of the night. Years we fought for this freedom, years I thought I had a wisdom. Now I see with new eyes. From this truth I cannot hide. Hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey ya hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey ya hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey ya hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey ya hey ya hey, oh hey. And I gotta believe I'm here to make a difference without fear of being seen or heard. Like the bird who flies at night, like the lion strong and fierce, like the whale singing. I'd like to be bringing peace to you, to me, to you, to me. Into the wild I'll go, and into the wild I am. It's been a while, freedom child, since I left my roots back home. Into the wild I'll go, and into the wild I am. It's been a while, freedom child. I hope you can hear this. Since I've left my roots back home. I hope.
Oh, fantastic. I'm going to go to gallery view. Let's all twinkle her. That was fabulous. Just
Felt
fabulous.
good. That felt really
Great.
good. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, I love that song. I love that song. And you're getting a lot of comments. Dorina is coming all the way from Ecuador, and she says, Shyla, you were my favorite Ojai musician and favorite person of all time. I can feel your power, beauty, and sunshine all the way here in Ecuador. Lots of people, really, all the comments are coming in now. And to get more Shyla Ray, you go to her website, and it's her name. And the sunshine's still in there, by the way, everybody.
It
It
was
is ShylaRaySunshine.com. And yeah, she's got shows coming up. You've got shows in San Diego, LA, of course, RelaxPansion in Ashland. Then you're going right after that to Sedona, Las
right.
Vegas, Ogden, Salt Lake City, and then all the way out to, is that Vermont?
Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia. Wow. So she's back, and there's no stopping her now.
That's right.
Oh, fantastic. Lloyd, any final comments you want to share with Shyla Ray?
Wow. It's so great to see you. I'm so pleased and ecstatic that we've worked it out for you to come in June.
Same.
And
I'm a little sad that I can't stay the whole weekend.
I know.
I'm a
I
busy
realize.
woman. I got people to other people.
Yeah, you are in demand, which is how it should be. But I remember that too, that your presentation workshop won't be happening on the weekend.
Yeah.
But I sort of downplay the music in this gathering because there's so many other incredible things that are being offered, like the Visionary Art Gallery and Tea Island and so many things. But the music lineup, every place from start to finish on each day and the opening evening, at the flow, the presentation, the stacked headliners as we go towards the curfew at 10:30 in the evening, and then move into after hours RelaxPansion with DJs and fireside songs and everything else. Whew, come for it all.
I have to agree. Your lineup is, I'm just gonna say, I'm very impressed. I am. that you pulled
Yeah,
such great
I
artists
pulled up
that I
so
really
you
love.
can see all the artists, including Mike Love from the Beach Boys, and of course Elijah
Wow,
Ray.
Stop, not from the Beach Boys.
that's very good. Yeah, that's not the Mike Love.
Oh, it's not that Mike Love.
Not even close.
Oh my God! All this time I thought it was that Mike Love.
No, he's gonna do Ron, Ron, Ron. We have the real Mike Love.
Oh my God! Well, see, there's a good clarification.
Yeah.
Funny. Mike Love is incredible. Please look him up.
When
Super
he-
talented vocalist. He's like a one-man band. I don't know if
Yeah.
he's coming with a band, but I'm so
No, he's
happy
doing
with him.
solo, like
He is.
Elijah Ray. Although Elijah Ray is going to have the stage filled with his
Band of
dear brothers and sisters. It's going to be a peak moment, as is every single stage presentation. And then, how are you going to miss Victoria's presentation or Michael's presentation or these newly invented sharing circles? And already totally out of control.
It's
fun.
going to be
Thank
fantastic.
you, Lloyd. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Lloyd. Well, so here we're winding down. We are going to have a final song from Omashar because he always closes us out our weekend. But Shyla Ray and Victoria, thank you so much for joining us this Sunday morning and blessing us with your a homeopathic dose of the wonderful medicine you provide. And Lloyd, I've really enjoyed sharing this weekend with you and meeting some of your friends and then some of our common friends. And everybody, I sure hope to see as many of you as possible at RelaxPansion. A couple of final comments. Just want to let people know that we're always promoting different things. And one of the things that I want to let people, and I talked about this last night, obviously now is the time to pray for peace. And so there's a wonderful movement going on um, uh, all around the world at 8 p.m. in whatever time zone it might be. People, when they can, tune in and pray for peace. And at any time that you are tuning in and praying for peace, just visualize that 8 p.m. vibe. Kind of the idea being that we all are putting our collective thought into holding the vision for peace in our world. And whether it's the horror going on in Ukraine or the horror that just took place in Texas, it's important for all of us to really drop in and pray for peace in our own unique way. Whatever your spiritual path might be, whatever your denomination might be, let's all practice that prayer for peace. It's very important. And then I also want to let people know about what we've got happening next weekend. Because every weekend, the Awakening World is here with wonderful things. And next weekend, we are collaborating with Soul Search, which is a powerful online community. And we've got great music. Cornflower, one of the favorite musical artists of Global Peace Tribe, will be back with us. Jai Lakshmi will be with us. And a lot of wonderful presenters, some of whom you might not know, that are part of the Soul Search tribe of healers. And we're going to really be exploring how we all are creating the new paradigm. So that's next Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday morning, and hope that you can join us for that. And also, finally, a reminder that Deborah Giusti and Alan Steinfeld have this incredible program called Making Contact, which is going to start. They did a preview, which is available for free. You can watch that first episode. But the series, it's a 5-week series, begins on Thursday, June 2nd. And they've got just about every living UFO expert joining them live. So you can learn all about that by going to makingcontactseries.com. So those are all, and that's a Global Peace Tribe event as well. So do join us for the Awakening World, for Making Contact. Support Shyla Ray, buy her music, go see her live in person, and most of all, let's all come together at the RelaxPansion Festival. I look forward to meeting many of you in person, and of course, continuing to see all of you online through our online offerings. Thank you again, Lloyd. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. I'm going to go to gallery view so we can all kind of wave goodbye. Turn on your cameras. Say goodbye. And thank you so much, everybody, for being with us. Look forward to seeing you either in person or live at RelaxPansion, or, of course, through the Awakening World and Global Peace Tribe. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hang on. Scott,
Oh, almost sure. Closing song. Ah,
dude.
thank you
This
so
is your
much.
Mike Love. This is your Mike Love moment.
Oh boy, I'm having a day,
honor,
aren't I?
in honor of that, I'm going to sing "Good Vibrations." Okay.
I always thought it was that Mike Love. I didn't know there was another Mike Love. What can I
I've seen Mike Love a couple of times in Hawaii. What a beautiful soul. Amazing. And just because of him, I'm going to go to Relax Expansion, whatever it's called. I'm so buzzed at the moment. And yeah, what a beautiful, phenomenal weekend. I've been taken so deep inside my heart by everybody that Lloyd has brought along. And Victoria, how lovely to hear of your work in the world. It's touched me. Grief has bowled me over in the last couple of years. And so to know that there is a way out or a way in is really hopeful. So instead of Good Vibrations, I'm going to play a song called Illuminate. Good Vibrations. And it's from my Illuminate album. And it goes something like this. And thank you so much for everything. Illuminate yourself with the waves of love passing through. Think not anything. You're the one you're waiting for. We have now received all the blessings of all time. Come and celebrate what we've all become. Life is you, love is you, and be all that you are. Show the world you are true, and all the earth will rise and answer you. No need to hesitate. Open hearts can walk right through. There is no door or gate that could hold your love at bay. We encourage you to hold only to what is true. Your life is yours to make. All your wildest dreams come true. Because life is you, love is you, and be all that you are. Show the world you are
That was awesome. I am so
Yeah,
grateful
awesome.
you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Omar Shar. And I apologize for almost
It's
saying goodbye
okay.
without the Omar Shar closing
It's
music. And I do want to remind people you can find all things Omar Shar at his website, and it's his name, omashar.com. OMASHAR.com. And his music. Also, he has a great YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and just put in Omar Shar, and I'll get reviews so we can see some of our guests and some of the people who've been watching. And thank you, everybody, for turning your cameras on. Those of you who did put on your cameras. Um, and all right, thank you, everyone. Um, and look forward to seeing you on our upcoming future shows. And certainly look forward to hopefully seeing you at RelaxPansion. And again, thank you, Omar Shar, for being our house musician and all that you bring to us. It's beautiful, really, really beautiful. Also, I forgot to mention Shyla Ray does vocal coaching. And can you imagine what it would be like to be coached by this amazing woman? I mean, just even if you can't sing, just to hang out with her would be pretty cool, I think. So, but she could probably get us to do amazing things. And Lloyd, I'm going to bring you back on camera one last time just to thank you. And there you are. So thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend and God's blessing.